Thank you. Please be seated. Prefect joke of the day is, why do you never see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it.
Good, thank you. So why am I up here on a Tuesday? If you even notice the difference, the headmaster's away, so headmaster's gathering will be on Thursday. So today is chapel, just to do things a little differently. And we'll begin with the Strathcona Lodge Schoolhouse hymn, number 10, Be Thou My Vision. Please stand. Thank you. Please be seated. Welcome back, everyone. It's good to see you all. We're going to start with a brief commercial message from the prefects.
Hello, everybody. Jackson and I are here today to announce to you all that Spring Fling, this year's Sadie Hawkins dance, will be happening on April 1st, which is this Saturday.
And I hope that Clarice Owen asks me.
There was a brief introduction by Jade before the break, but we're here now to go over the details.
My Snowfest ask was a disaster, but I hope Clarice can see past that into the many lovable qualities that I have to offer as a person. She knows that I don't have a lot of friends, so I spend all my time admiring her natural aroma. I bet she smells good. Never mind.
Let's just get the gritty parts out first. Don't do anything stupid. You know who you are.
As fun as it is to get wasted off of mouthwash and non-alcoholic beer, once again, you know who you are.
This is supposed to be a fun night out with your friends.
The last thing anybody wants is to spend more time with Mr. CB than needed.
This dance is similar to Snowfest, but will be slightly less formal. Dress should look less formal than Snowfest, but more formal than Dean's.
There will be music and food, and tickets will be on sale in the commissary starting today.
Okay, it's time to kick off the asks.
I know I don't necessarily meet Clarice's requirements for a guy. For one, I need to be younger than her and or a cartoon character obsessed with dogs.
Oh man, Jackson is the hottest guy in Ducks. I have to ask him to spring fling.
The look she just gave me, oh man. I think she's actually going to ask me. Oh my God.
His blonde hair is so cute.
Public asks, once again, are allowed once they have been cleared by Mr. CB.
I hope Clarice cleared her ass with CB because I'm for sure going to say yes.
Time to do this.
Jackson? Yes? Alexander? What? Oh, that's awkward. Well, I mean, okay, so second choice, Jackson Doucette. Will you go to spring fling with me?
Not again.
No.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I mean, third choice can't be that bad. Jackson Gata? Oh, God. Where'd he go? Ugh. Not this again! Ugh.
Okay, so just a quick reminder that if you want to do a public ask, it has to be cleared and you have to be certain that they'll say yes because you don't want to end up like Clarice. And if you plan on asking somebody, you better do it soon because spring fling is fast approaching. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm wondering about my decision to follow that, if it was a good decision or not. That was great. Thank you. A few comments from me. The other day, as you may or may not have remembered, Mr. Robertson made a reference to the concept of grace and suggested that the chaplain, moi, might someday give a talk on the topic. So being, as the obedient chaplain that I am, I've prepared a few thoughts on grace for this morning and what is so amazing about it. So grace is one of those words that has multiple meanings. Grace is used to refer to God's love and care for us. It's also used to describe someone who's generous and kind and well-mannered. This kind of person is referred to as what, we say? No? Gracious, right? We say someone is gracious, who's kind and well-mannered and generous. Grace is also used to describe someone who moves like a dancer. We say that person is what? Oh, you're waking up. Graceful, right. And what we call prayer, the prayer before and after meals, grace, right. So grace is not easy or simple to define. It refers in some way to everything that is good and suggests that good things come to us in a somewhat random way, so that life is full of these kind of random, unearned gifts. There's a Saint Teresa of Lisieux, a 19th century French saint, who had a broader meaning of grace. Saint Teresa said that everything is grace. All is grace. Everything that happens to us and around us, the good, the bad, and the ugly, can be seen as grace, as a gift. And certainly a great many spiritual teachers have echoed the same notion that the secret to fulfillment and happiness is to see that everything that happens to us is a gift given to us in order to grow. And this is not a new theme for me, as you know. And some of you may still find this an odd or even a crazy kind of teaching. You may be saying to yourself, well, if everything in my life is a gift, there are a number of things that I'd like to return for a refund. But I invite you to think for a moment about what life would be like if we approached life as St. Teresa approaches life, seeing everything as a gift. And here are a few things that might result. So if we saw everything as a gift or everything as grace, we would tend to see the good in every person. We would focus on the strengths in others, on their unique gifts, on their good intentions. And I know there are probably people whose good qualities are very well hidden, but everyone has them, even if they're kind of hidden down deep. So what if we saw our job as excavating the good qualities of everyone we meet? Or even better, imagine a day in which everyone we encountered called forth the best qualities in us. That would be a good day, wouldn't it? A day full of grace. If we saw everything as grace, we would look for the best in every situation. The silver lining, as the saying goes, in every cloud. So this doesn't mean, of course, that we can avoid frustration or disappointment or sorrow. It really is about where we put our attention and energy. It's about how we choose to see life. And of course, that choice of how we choose to see life affects not just our mood and our emotions, but it affects our ability to be effective people. It affects the quality of our day. If we choose to see everything as grace, we are more able to see all that life has to offer us. You know, we're less prone to miss all the great surprises that life has for us. You know this, a negative attitude tends to kind of cut us off from experiencing what is positive in every situation. You know, when we get into negative attitudes and thinking, it's really hard for us to see the positive. But if we're open to the possibility that every moment is filled with grace, we open up all kinds of possibilities. So I know that many of you had all kinds of adventures over the break, big and small adventures. Adventures that included, I'm sure, challenges and difficulties as well as moments of awe and wonder. And I suspect that for some of you, some of the difficult things actually have turned out to be some of the best things. Mrs. Rev and I had a small adventure ourselves that was so full of negativity and difficulty that we could have experienced it as a real bummer. Our adventure was that we walked from the Kinsel Trestle, which is just down the street, to Lake Cowichan, about 40 kilometers up the Cowichan Valley Trail, stopping overnight at Scotts Falls. And as I say, the whole walk is about 40K. We started out at 8 a.m. on the first Monday morning on a trail that was just perfectly clear. There were a few patches of snow, and even though it was a bit cloudy, it wasn't raining. And by 11 a.m., we'd gotten halfway to Scotts, so we'd been walking about 3 hours, and we sat there eating our lunch, imagining another leisurely 3-hour walk to get to our destination. So we started out on the second leg of our trip and soon encountered the first big tree across the trail. And this was a tree that completely blocked the trail, completely blocked our way, so we had to kind of climb and crawl to get past it, but, you know, no big deal. Then a few hundred feet later, another big tree, more climbing and crawling. Then the downed trees became more frequent. They literally littered the trail. We were stopping at one point about every 50 feet or so to get past yet another big tree. On top of this, the snow, which had just been in patches, became deeper and deeper until we were trudging through 15 to 20 centimeters of the stuff. And then naturally, of course, it started to rain. So we were, at this point, exhausted. But at this point, there was nothing we could do but continue on. We really couldn't go back. And as we walked along, we finally found a log on the side of the road where we could sit for a few moments. And so we kind of collapsed onto the log and sat there eating a power bar and drinking a bit of water. And as we sat there huffing and puffing, Miss Rev turned to me and said, "Is this awesome or what?" And I had to agree, it was really awesome. Given all the difficulties, we were both having the time of our lives. And that was a moment of grace. So was the moment when we arrived at Scotts Falls to our cottage and took off our soaking and freezing boots. As you can imagine, that was another moment of grace as well. So as St. Teresa says, everything is grace. And as you have heard many times before, the mechanism to switch grace on, of course, is what? It's gratitude. It's gratitude that unveils the beauty and possibility of each moment and allows us to see the goodness and possibility of everything. So grace can be found in every moment, even the saddest and hardest and most difficult moments, and that's why it's so amazing. And the more we can find the grace in each moment, of course, the more amazing life will be. So as we begin our final term, maybe we can at least start out with a determination to make it amazing. There will be plenty of challenges, along with plenty of good times, and if we are open to it, there will, of course, be lots and lots of grace. And anybody want to guess what the closing hymn is today? Hymn number 6. the Lakes House hymn, Amazing Grace. Please stand. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.